Y'all, I need a hug. I need to be held, okay? I spent some money this week. I got a financial update this week, and after I met all my obligations and did a tally, in my personal account, I have $23.43. We have a lot to unpack here, okay? But I'm also answering your questions, letting you know what's going on at the house, and recomposing myself. I'm Kelly Johnley, and this is Bajan Renovation. All right, let's talk about the money. So up front, I said that the budget for bringing this property up to a livable standard, i.e. not dream house standard, livable standard was $90,000. And for some reason in my head, I thought that I got $90,000 as well from the bank. I know I didn't. Well, I had to go to the bank this week just to do a transfer, and it was confirmed in writing, what I signed off, that they actually are giving me $83,000. Of that $83,000, I received $40,000 from them at the time of closing. From that $40,000, I had to pay the contractor $20,000 to start the work here, meaning there would have been $20,000 left on the account. So what has happened since, if you've been paying attention to the IG stories, I kind of slowed the project a bit. Why? Well, I work for myself. I didn't work for myself at the time of getting the mortgage though. I waited to make sure that closed before I decided to make this big transition. But long story short, if you work for yourself, you know that going back to get additional funding for anything can be quite a complicated, long drawn out and heartbreaking process. So I decided if needed, I will put some of my personal money into the project. Well, let's just say that's gotten ahead of me. And I had to lie down this week. So I did tell the contractor to continue working because I said, you know, they're getting very far with this $20,000. So when I had to make a payment to the contractor on Wednesday, I needed to give him the additional $20,000, which is what was at the bank, as well as $6,000 of my money, which would have been the continue working because I told them to. So that's fine, and it's itemized. Nobody are robbing me. So $26,000 was paid. There are also some things that I've paid for out of pocket that you don't see. The property insurance here is expensive, and you're probably saying, which you could be insuring. Properties like this are insured at the reinstatement value, i.e. what the valuation says it is likely to be worth once it has been renovated. It is not insured at what I paid for it. The reinstatement value for this was $460,000. So that meant the insurance reflected the $460,000. You also know I went to Light and Power, so I had to pay for the connection and service fee. You also know that I went to Water Authority. So that was an additional $3,000 wrapped up in there somewhere. So $9,000 out of pocket and $20,000 to the contractor. So where is this additional $20,000 going? Well, we mentioned before the form work for the roof. I'm happy to say that having paid the money, the materials have arrived. The form work for the roof is going to continue in earnest. Also, you will notice as we walk around, the floors are not level. So the bedroom patio conversion setup, that floor is being leveled out, as well as the garage, which is being brought in as part of the living dining area. That is being leveled up. That is where the majority of the money is going to go. So I was told, Kelly, when y'all film next week, you're gonna see some action. So while none of this money is a surprise, let's just say by the time I had to pull together all the little bits and pieces, at the time of recording this on Saturday, yes, if you're watching this Sunday, we're only recording this on Saturday, I have $23 in my account, right? And I had to literally go through all my handbags and like gather up some money. And I found like another $300. And that is going to tide me over until some of my invoices come in for people paying me next week, or I go to the credit union and withdraw some of my money. So the rubber is hitting the road. Nothing unexpected, but you know, it's cool when I'm telling you about these things as they come in and stuff like that. But when you work for yourself and you spend that kind of money in like a day, trust me, I had to go and lie down. We couldn't film this night earlier because I had to catch myself. Anyways, I think I've caught myself. I think. All right, we're getting into the question time. Now, one of the questions that you guys ask is, who is the contractor? How come you don't see the contractor? Well, one, I have to be respectful of people's privacy. My contractor is not a social media person. He's a very private person, but he did allow me to share that the company is called New Tech Construction and Maintenance. Now, the reason why I haven't been talking about them is because they rarely do residential renovations. They really do commercial construction. That is their area of specialty, commercial construction and commercial maintenance. So how did they get working on this? Well, I got lucky. My dad has a long-standing working relationship with New Tech, and a few years ago they did their home, my parents' home, and did a great job. So I guess you could say I got a blight, right, where they have come in to do this. So that's the reason why you don't see the contractor on site. He's working on other projects, but also why you probably won't see much featuring of them, simply because it's not their primary area of work. And as happy as I am talking about what's going on here, etc., everybody's just not a social media person, and I'm fine with that. So I got a few more questions about life as a landlord and if I felt that the investments in my properties were worth it. You know, I can tell you yes. I have absolutely no regrets of taking the property route to build wealth. You know, I think we need to just get comfortable saying that we are actively trying to build wealth as a community, and investing in a property is a way to do it. But very much like you, many of you I should say, if you watch HGTV or any of these shows, it does give you the impression that it is fast. It is not fast, and sometimes it can be very hard. One of the questions I got this week, and I've had it before, is, did you find it difficult to get financing for your second property? Yes, it was very, very, very hard. So, but here's a tip. This is something I have learned. Run with this. There's a big difference between a bank and a lender. So, we all know what the banks are. Scotiabank, CIBC, Republic Bank, First Citizens. They tend to have the name bank in the name. And then you have lenders, and lenders are like Signia and Capita and credit unions. What you will find is that the terms, the lending terms or qualification terms from banks tend to be very similar. They're governed by the same, I guess you could say, bylaws or laws or rules. And when you go for a second property, what you will find is that it may be treated as a commercial mortgage. You're going to be required to pay a higher deposit, and also the repayment terms are shorter. So for like a residential property, you may get up to 30 years. With a commercial, it's usually between 10 and 15. So you're going to have a higher deposit, a higher interest rate, and a shorter time to pay it back. Unless you already have money, like enough money, it is aggressive. So what I found, having done my rounds with the banks, is that when I ended up speaking to someone from Capita a few years ago, the terms were a lot more favorable. Yes, their interest rate was higher than a bank's, but it allowed me to secure a property that I wanted. So if you're feeling discouraged, because you have gone to one lender or two lenders and you're not getting terms that work for you, continue to look around. The fact that it hasn't happened for you yet does not mean it won't happen, but you need to probably explore alternate financing, and that is what I had to do. Getting the third one, believe it or not, this was not my first option for a third property. I had found one in Blackrock that I really liked, and I had lost out on it because it just took too long to get the paperwork together, and I balled down the place when it fell through. But in a conversation with my current bank now, see, we come back to a bank. This third one was easier. I believe they never said it outright, but I do believe that over the time that I have been acquiring the properties and making payments, I now had equity, significant equity in the other two. One, I also demonstrated a capacity to repay and earn from those properties. So this one was a lot easier, but I could tell you the second one was hard. So please don't think that this is an overnight process. Okay, so now for some levity. A few of you have asked if we would feature other properties. Well, you don't know that we're leaning into our Bajan HGTV life. You know, HGTV ain't one show. So the answer is yes. We actually will be featuring other properties, and I know you asked if I've ever buy another property, and I said not that time soon. Well, your girl with her fast self went and signed a lease on something, and in a couple of weeks I will be showing you what I signed the lease for, and we will be showing you a renovation of sorts. Also, some of you have submitted and shared your projects, and I love to see what you guys are doing. And if you want us to highlight what you're doing, feel free. Send me a before and after picture. We do not have to highlight your name, where you live, nothing so, but I know you are proud of your work, and as you should be, and I'll be happy to include it in an upcoming episode. So that's some stuff to look forward to. We can get some action here on the site. I'm going to recover from my financial embarrassment, and in the episodes going forward, you're going to be seeing some other people's stuff. I'm Kelly Johnley, and this is Bajan Renovation.